We've all been there. You're hyped up about a new fighting game, the characters look sick, the gameplay looks new and fun, you are ready. And then a week to a month goes by and you find yourself logging more hours into other games you play. This isn't just you, the numbers indicate this is the case for most players. Now, MK1 launched recently, and according to the Steam charts, there were around 26,000 players at peak on launch day. Now, I know Steam and PC in general isn't the most popular console for this, but that's what I'll be using for an example. Now, around a month later, that number is bouncing between 4,000 and 7,000. That's a substantial drop. 4,000 and 7,000 is still healthy for a fighting game in general, but that's a lot. SF6 has seen a similar decline, going from a peak of about 70,000 players to between 10,000 and 20,000. Now, while there are many reasons for this, MK1 has some bugs, most people play it for the story, things like that, I think there's an overlying trend going on here. Now, it is worth noting that people bounce off all kinds of games, but not at this same rate as fighting games. League of Legends, for example, has been around for years and years, and it still sees a very healthy number of players. So, why do people bounce off fighting games? The first thing you might think of is just how difficult they are. Fighting games are notoriously difficult. If you've ever tried to get into them, they're filled with complicated combos and frame data, and everything is so intricate, and that's why people bounce off of them, right? But other games I think are just as, if not more difficult. Look at how many characters there are in League of Legends and how they each have moves and they all interact. Look at all the movement tech you have to do in something like Apex, how precise you have to be in these games. No, I don't think being hard is what is making these games unpopular or what makes people bounce off them. Now, that being said, I do think fighting games need to do a lot more to teach players the skills they need to fight other humans online. I just don't think they're more inherently difficult than these other multiplayer games. You see, most of the single-player content in fighting games, it can be beaten with cheesy, easy tactics, and a lot of times in the older fighting games, that was the only way you could beat these bosses is to spam jump kick or spam uppercut or stupid shit like that. But these things don't teach you what you need to know to fight a human. More of these modern fighting games are starting to include things like combo trial type modes and things of that nature, but these are almost never the actual bread and butter combos that you end up using in matches online. Luckily, there's a lot of YouTubers and great content creators, and the information spreads so fast, so there's a lot of easy ways to learn about these games, but none of these are inside the game. I think another important topic to talk about is the ego. In other multiplayer games like MOBAs and Battle Royales, there's so many other people involved in a single match that there's a lot more to blame your loss for. It was my healer, I got randomly sniped, it wasn't my fault. But in a fighting game, it's all on you. And I think this causes a lot of toxicity that's different than the toxicity in other games. Not saying other games aren't toxic, but in these games, you get mad at your opponent because they're being cheap or they're playing the wrong way or whatever. But in reality, subconsciously, you're just mad at yourself because you don't know how to counter it, and it's annoying. Now, the last thing I think fighting games lack compared to other multiplayer games is just, things to grind for. There's usually not a lot of reasons to play the game other than how fun the combo systems and things like that are. And that, a lot of the times, is enough to carry the game for most players, myself included. But I think some people with shorter attention spans, sometimes this is me, I'm guilty of this, we move on. And there's just not enough content to keep us there. I just want to wrap this up by saying that fighting games are amazing. I think they're one of the most interesting and unique genres out there, and I think everyone should give them a shot at some point. But I do hope to see more modern fighting games try to implement some better ways to teach players and to retain players, and I think things need to change a bit, or people are going to keep leaving in droves like they have been. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what other topics you want to talk about, and thanks for watching.